Are you ready to go to the boat?
The schedule is finish the line driver installation. We should be able to do all of that today. That'd be real nice.
It's spring and the boat is uncovered. And you're working on the line driver for the Traveler. Beautiful. And now to remove the final tape, which is really stuck on the boat. I'm gonna go remove that glue. So it's the first really nice spring day. It's beautiful here. And we're just putting the boat in order. It's quite a mess with lots of things going underway. We have some dehumidifiers down below. And it's really not too bad. It's in pretty good shape after the winter. We're just hoping all the water works when we turn everything on, and that will be after we get launched. BioTrek is positioned in the boatyard for an early launch. Those couple boats ahead of us are going to be launched, and then we're going in about a week. We have Ransom and Pierre working on the line driver for the Traveler. We met Ransom Morse last summer, and he said he'd help Pierre install the line driver.
Yeah, that's what they gave me. Ransom like the note, Morse like the code.
Line drivers are deck hardware that move the Traveler by a continuous rolling rope, and the Traveler is operated by controls at the helm. It makes it easier for short-handed sailing, and jibing can be done from the helm, and it keeps the deck clear of ropes. I can't wait to show you how it works when it's installed. But first, a bit about the planning. It was not obvious how to install it. Another Outremer 5X installed a line driver, but their installation had the motor protruding into the cockpit, which was not acceptable to us. So Pierre and his friend Ransom Morse spent quite a bit of time planning a better installation for the line driver. The planning phase started last summer, but then when Pierre injured his arm and we decided not to go south, we decided to defer the installation until the spring. And for an update on Pierre's arm, he's still in physio twice a week, but he's regained most movement and expects to have a full recovery. I need for the video that your left arm movement. Hey!
That's fine.
And fingers, because I showed with paralyzed fingers.
Well, in the evening, afternoon, I can work it, but in the morning, it's frozen like this every morning.
And here's a bit more video I took last summer during the planning phase.
How's it going to work? You don't have to use a winch. Perfect.
So is this going to be doable, Pierre?
Yeah.
Did I just hear you say you had to replace the whole track?
No. If we wanted to remove these end stops, these end bits,
right,
you have to take off the entire track.
But you don't need to remove the end bits, do you?
But we do not. We're going to leave them on. Yeah, everybody wants the Traveler to be as long as can be, so they always go to a stop somewhere.
Once again, with these sails, it's so difficult to induce a twist that it's very, very rare that you go close to the end. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, so obviously right off the bat, I'm already looking at disassembling all of that anyway, because this these four fasteners need to come out, and the motor should be indexed 180 degrees, because
we're turning this 90 degrees anyway. So basically this portion will go into the boat like this. Exactly.
This will get rotated 90 degrees like this,
exactly,
and this right here will get indexed 180 degrees so that the studs face aft, so that we have good pickup for that.
Perfect. So if we do that, then we can even have the motor on the port side instead of starboard side. But anyway, we're thinking the same way.
Yes. Yep. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
It was made for it.
Yes, I agree.
Actually, that location wasn't made for it because the motor wasn't going to fit in without protruding. There was no way it was going to fit in, and a protrusion was not acceptable. Winter in Rhode Island came early, and as the weather got colder, we decided to defer the installation of the electric Traveler until the spring. Killer, where's the boat? So before the Traveler project was finished, and just before Easter, the boat was launched. And this is a good thing because it actually been a pretty cold spring most days, and once in the water we can use the air conditioners on board in reverse cycle to heat the boat, making it a little more comfortable to work. It is my first boat ride at the air. We're over here, Killer. Now that we've been launched, we can get back to work on the line driver. Now to figure out the electrics.
Open up all of the back panels there, you have access to the whole wall.
Yep.
And then we'll do all of the electrics in the back.
Okay.
So the only thing we have to do is send, three or four wires from here to the back.
Yes.
You discovered our secret rum stash.
Yeah. It is considerable.
Access for the wiring on the port side. Access for the wiring on the starboard side. Everything is disassembled. Winches, more winches. One serviced and working. One out of how many? Oh no, there's three.
This one doesn't work.
It doesn't work?
It works by hand, but the electric doesn't work.
Why not?
Because of the problem we have at the bottom. It's pushed down now, so you have to open it up and find out what's happening with the spring.
Okay, so servicing the winches added a bit to the disorder, but the line driver was coming along nicely. So I see the line driver's been taken apart yet again. And Ransom, you've done that so many times, I guess you can do it when you're blindfolded.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the line is installed.
Yeah. The temporary line. We'll put a bigger line there for once we're finished the install.
So equipment, it goes in here,
Yeah.
around, around, and back.
That's it.
Right? It's a pretty cold day here. Yeah, it's a pretty cold day here, and the original plan was to install the motor for the line driver right here, where we have the bag underneath. But it wouldn't fit in the transom right here. And so, in the end, hey Tiller, what are you doing? You're getting in the way of my video. In the end, it was installed over on the other side. So let me show you. So it was installed here, and it's underneath and installed through the engine room. The access for installation of the motor was from the port engine room in a very small space. Oh my goodness, you had to get way up there to install it? Ransom, how did you get up in there?
Yeah, exactly. it was incredibly uncomfortable.
Stages, right?
We are approaching the final stages. That is true here. Oh, just running the new line, putting in the new blocks, going from 3 to 1 to 2 to 1.
And it's attached with dynamo at the block at the other end here.
Lashed at the ends.
Yeah, so it's
We would have
lashed.
gone to a more substantial fixture, but we would have had to remove the entire track from the back of the boat to change out the end stop. So
Not doing that.
we'd rather not.
And the noise is we're getting the glycol out of our water tank. So you just have to lash that end, and it's
Oh no, we're not quite there yet.
While Ransom and Pierre were planning the line driver, they also decided to reroute the lines that were used to bring the dinghy up on the davits.
Swapping blocks around.
Okay.
The orientation from the manufacturer was questionable.
There we go. We did remove the winch that was here, and we just had this small turn to bring the dinghy up.
When we were jibing, the main sheet used to get caught in the winch here, and it broke the winch completely. So we decided just to remove it completely and just install this turning block. So we can use it both ways, either like this up or like this up to the big electric winch, and this allows us to do everything we need very quickly.
So that works.
And we also modified the dinghy lift. This rope was coming up a bit to the left here, coming out to these two blocks, which were a little bit weak. It started to open up, so we ended up moving.
Well, that one was about to break.
Yeah, so we ended up moving. Now that this became free because of the traveler, we ended up moving the dinghy lift up to this bigger pulley here, back across and then back. We reduced the friction a lot by increasing the size of the pulleys and changing the routing.
Because you moved that pulley over, so now that it pulls straight from that pulley and it pulls straight here, because otherwise it was pulling at the wrong angle.
Yeah.
Spring in New England is a zigzag of temperatures, and with better weather, we were back at the boat. After removing the glycol from the water systems, we gave the water tanks chlorine treatment to make sure that they stayed clean. Lazy jacks are being installed in preparation for putting the mainsail back. So this strap is broken and needs to be repaired. Servicing the winches became a bigger job than we thought for two reasons. Pierre explains.
There were two problems, of course. The first problem is when we removed the winch, we noticed that they weren't, the gear was not where the load was. And our can accept that the gear be where the load is or 180 degrees opposite. So there's a push and pull, which is equivalent on the bottom gear. But that's a problem that we noticed, that we wanted to change the rotation, the angle of some of these winches so that the gear would be where the load was. So when we removed the winch to turn it like this, that's where we noticed that the gel coat was coming off with the glue. Upon further analysis, noticed that there was no vinyl resin between in the carbon fiber in that area of the roof. So it was just carbon fiber and gel coat, of course. That doesn't seal very well. So we checked with the factory, and apparently there was, seems to be an issue with the carbon fiber when they do the vacuum bagging. Probably because it was a bit too cold when they did it that day, or didn't wait enough, or whatever. But anyway, the vinyl didn't go all the way through the whole carbon roof. And there's a little bit part in certain areas of the roof. There's a certain part where it wasn't impregnated with resin between the carbon fiber and the gel coat, so that's why it's not it unglued there. So we just cleaned it up, put a nice reinforcing plate on top of it, and laminated everything else back with a real super strong glue. So now the winches will never go anywhere.
Pierre installed these two winch buttons that control the two lower winches on either side of the traveler control. Now this is a real improvement for short-handed sailing and for short sailors. This lower winch is used to roll the head sails, and the upper winch is needed to man the sheets. And so it takes a bit of gymnastics with foot and hand to roll the head sails, so we had to do it with two people. Now it will be easy for one person. So that's our spring so far, and we're delighted that BioTrek has been completely optimized for short-handed sailing, and we really look forward to telling you where we're going to go next when we start living aboard and sailing again. Please give us some comments. We love getting comments from our viewers. And if you're new to this station, please subscribe and look forward to seeing sailing videos coming up.